Welcome, Greg. Great to meet you again, having met you on stage at the THE Awards to give you this very well-deserved award. So my name's Simon Nelson. I'm Chief Executive of QA Higher Education. I've been doing that for about 4 years. We work with universities all around the UK to recruit, teach and support students from all over the world. And before that, I was the founding chief exec of FutureLearn, which I ran for 8 years. And before that, I was at the BBC for nearly 15 years. But Greg, tell me about yourself and what your role is, please.
Thanks, Simon, and thanks for you asking me to take part as well. So my name's Greg Christison. I'm Communications Manager at the University of Stirling in Scotland, and I've been part of the communications team since 2017, having previously worked in journalism before that. My role at the university involves managing external corporate communications, and as part of that role, I look after sports performance and communications around that. It's important to say up top that Stirling is Scotland's university for sporting excellence, and is probably best known for its swimmers who compete at the Olympics and Commonwealth Games. But we've got a range of high performance programs at the university, including in football, which we'll come on to in a second, but also in tennis, golf, rugby, triathlon and other sports as well. So that's a brief introduction to myself and sport at Stirling.
All right, thanks, Greg. Okay, so look, tell us about this campaign that won the THE's Outstanding Marketing Communications Team of the Year award.
Okay, yeah. So I suppose that the best place to start is just to say a bit about the men's football team. So the campaign centred around the men's football team, which is made up of student football scholars. So these are students who split their time between their studies and training and competing in football. They play in Scotland's 5th tier, the Lowland League, along with, I think, another 9 competitions they play in every season. So they worked hard, certainly. But one of those other competitions is the Scottish Cup, which is a national cup competition involving all football clubs north of the border. So for us in previous seasons, we've made great progress in terms of getting to the 3rd round of the Cup. But this year in 22-23, it was extra special because we made history and the men's football team became the first university side in more than 50 years to make the 4th round of the Cup. And the 4th round takes on more significance because that's where your big teams come in, your Rangers, your Hearts, your Hibs, and in this case, Dundee United. So for them to be rewarded with an away tie at Dundee United, was a fantastic achievement to get that far. But what a reward, because they had the opportunity to go and play in a professional stadium, a huge profile around the match. And in fact, I think off the top of my head, they had a couple of World Cup players in the Dundee United lineup that day. So that's the background to the campaign. Once the draw came around, Simon, there was a huge sense of excitement, and as a marketing comms team, we knew that we had a fantastic opportunity here, in that, we had the opportunity to bring our students and staff together around sport, and nothing brings people together like sport. So it was an opportunity for us to engage students, staff, alumni, members of the local community, whether they were involved in sport or watched football. We saw an opportunity there really to bring our community together, to inspire, to have that feeling of togetherness and all uniting behind one cause. So that was kind of one aim of our campaign, and the other was, of course, to again underline our long established reputation as Scotland's university for sport and excellence. So they were kind of the main aims of the campaign, if you like.
Okay, brilliant. And I mean, it sounds fantastic. And so how did you go about then building the campaign and really bringing this into the enormous success that you grew it to?
So we had a number of challenges up front in that between the draw being made and the game itself, there were only 31 days, and the draw was made at the end of November. You had the festive break, and then the game was, I think it was mid-January. So there was a real limited time for us to mobilise and plan and execute. And added into that, a lot of the logistics were being organised in real time as we were trying to plan what our campaign might look like. We didn't know the time of kick-off exactly, what day it would be played on, how we would get there. So there were lots of things happening in parallel. At the start of the season, we hadn't planned for the football team. I'm sure we'd be forgiven for that. Making the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, so there was a limited budget in place. We had to reallocate from some areas to support the campaign, but in the most part, it was it had to be about the comms and marketing team's creativity and coming together as a small team, using our resources and relationships across the institution to deliver this campaign. And then I suppose the final challenge we faced was, in reality, the club's fan base is pretty small, counted in the tens rather than the hundreds. And the reason for that is because, the nature of university football, you've got parents who come in for a couple of years and then leave again when their son moves on. So we knew that to have visibility at Tannadice and Dundee on the day, we would really have to ramp up the numbers. So they were the challenges. And we then, starting off with, as I say, limited resources, we really felt what we had to do was create that emotional connection between our community, the local community, and the football team. And we wanted to create a feeling of excitement around the game, create a fear of missing out, make it the hottest ticket in town. And I think we did succeed in doing that. We'll come on to that in a second. And engaging the media, we felt that really selling in the historic nature of the tie, the David versus Goliath, here's a team of World Cup winners, and here's, students who've just travelled down to Loughborough or Nottingham at the weekend to play their Bucks game. So it was about framing the story in such a way that it couldn't be ignored. The media wanted to tell it, and on social media, people wanted to share it. So that was how our plan sort of started to come together.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So now let's hear about how what kind of successes you had, and of course we're building up to the cliffhanger of what actually happened in the match. But you take us through the story.
Of course. So one of our key tactics, if you like, was to use personal relationships from the comms and marketing side, but also from alumni, from sport, to reach out to well-known sporting figures who have links to the university. So they might be graduates, they might be honorary graduates, they might be from the local area. So we reached out to celebrities, if you like, and asked them to send a good luck film to the student footballers that we could share on our channels. So that resulted in some big names. So Sir Alex Ferguson being the biggest, followed by World Cup winner Lillian Thuram, Trudy Murray, Eve Muirhead, Ross Murdoch. So there were some big names that from the off said, absolutely, we want to get involved in this. We're sending our best wishes to the team and use these films as you like. There was no cost involved in that. It was reaching out through personal existing relationships, and it was, the films that came back were authentic. They were shot themselves, and that worked really, really well for our campaign, both on social media in terms of shares, but also we had great media interest in the fact that you have World Cup winner and Sir Alex Ferguson supporting your footballers going into the weekend. So that was one element that worked really well for us. Another was we created a suite of 4 films, I think it was in total, that were designed to motivate, to energise, to be emotive and engaging and shareable on social media. So one was a cinematic film that involved one of the strikers in the team getting ready for the biggest day of his life. This is what he's been preparing for. He's going into battle. So that really that really worked well on our channels. In parallel to that, we interviewed the coaches and the players to get a glimpse into what they were like, how they were feeling, and that landed really well with our community. And then we asked staff and students as well to participate in a good luck film. So really, it brought everything together as one, and we did create that fear. We did create that feeling of, there's a fear of missing out, and it was the hottest ticket in town. And when ticket sales started, we couldn't believe the rate that they were flying out the door. I mean, we knew it was going to be popular, and we knew that our efforts were going to help boost sales. But I remember, we were probably aiming for 500 tickets to be sold. Dundee's about a 2-hour round trip from the university, so it was a big ask on people. But when we hit 1,000 fans travelling to the game, I think there was just a real feeling amongst the team that worked on this of, wow, we've delivered a fantastic campaign here. I should also give a call out, Simon, for our colleagues in marketing who in parallel were working on our visibility on the day. So we knew that if we got 1,000 fans to the game, that's going to be fantastic. But how do they present as University of Stirling fans? Because we don't sell tops, we don't sell scarves typically. So we had to create all the marketing collateral that then appeared pitch-side in the stands, and that really added to how we were portrayed as a university on the day, across broadcast media, in the papers, and in social media. So there were lots of different pillars to the activity, but they all came together as one, and it resulted in a really successful campaign.
Okay, amazing. All right, and then you also had quite a big impact on social media, didn't you? And the impact outside the stadium was, really great as well.
Yeah, it was. I think the one thing that really came through was whilst it was a football game, the story at the heart of the campaign we were working on was a story of belief, overcoming the odds, hard work, dedication, application. And I think everyone just got right behind it. We weren't meant to be in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup. We weren't meant to be playing against, football players that had been up against Messi just a few weeks previous.
All right. Last question then. So you've had this fantastic recognition, national recognition from Times Higher. So where do you go next? What are you going to build on from this success in the future?
Yeah, we were absolutely delighted with the award. I think, it's important to say a lot of our campaigns are collaborative by nature, but this one particularly touched all corners of the university. Everyone was involved. So I think to have that recognition from the sector particularly was it was really well received across the university, and we're really proud of it. In terms of what's coming next in terms of sport, recently we've had it confirmed that the Commonwealth Games are taking place in Glasgow next year. We will have swimmers competing there, so we're spending a bit of time at the moment thinking about what that looks like. We also have a golfer recently that turned professional who we're keeping an eye on, tennis players, triathletes, all competing at really high levels. So there's no doubt that we're going to be kept busy, and who knows, the footballers might even throw in another Scottish Cup run for us at some point to look forward to as well.
When's the cup competition start this year?
The cup competition will start, so it's over for this season, I'm afraid to say. But the new season will start August, September time, and I think the first cup game off the top of my head is around about October, November time. And then it moves on pretty quickly from there.
Okay, well, you got a new supporter here, and anyone else who knows the story. And listen, congratulations to you, congratulations to the team, congratulations to the university. And I think, anyone who's heard or been exposed to the story will know and understand that, University of Stirling, therefore, is one of the preeminent sporting institutions in the UK. And so job done by you and team, but more importantly by the students and the football team. So congratulations.
Thank you again, Simon. I really enjoyed speaking to you. Thank you.
Likewise, Greg.